Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm excited. I'm gonna be trying out this new palette I got from Colourpop. This is the X's and O's palette. I have another palette coming, and it's one that I created myself. So Colourpop has two different versions of a create your own palette. There's a small one that's, I believe, $25 or so, and then the large one is $45, and you get 24 shades in the large one. So I'm really excited. Now I noticed a theme. A lot of my shades are like this sort of burgundy. I don't know if you see this like burgundy color, or you know, here, let me just show you. Like this color palette, these types of colors, you know, like naturals, nudes, and some like burgundies and stuff like that. So I will try to step outside of that realm, as I notice I'm starting to sort of fall into a niche. Although, you know, when you find something you like, you find something you like. What can you say? But I would like to keep it interesting and switch it up a bit sometimes. So, you know, while my hair is like blue and green and girl, I need to color it again. I do like to stick to sort of like this sort of color palette. So I think that this one is perfect for me. It really is like colors that I really love. So I'm excited about that. To start, I am gonna do, I switched out the Lou Hydrating Moisturizer with my Pure Lease Green Tea Matcha, or Matcha Green Tea Moisturizer. My husband gave me a face massage the other day using this stuff, and my skin felt so good after. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to start using that again. So that's what I'm doing. And make sure you get your neck and your chest area with your moisturizer, because they say that's where you see your age the most. Franny did scratch me this morning. Duchess scared him and he was snuggling, and he like used my face as a launching pad. So that was exciting. Goofy cats. All right, now I'm gonna use my I Do Care Straight Radiate Gold Radiance Cream. Whoop. And then I'm going to use 111 Skin. If I can open it. Oh my gosh, my hands are so slippery now. It will not open. There we go. I'm still running out. Haven't bought any yet. There's still some in there, but we's getting low. All right, massage all that in. Now, if you ask me, Brie, what does this stuff actually do for your face? I don't know. I don't really know. It came in my Ipsy bags when I had Ipsy, and I use it, and I don't know, I like how my makeup looks. I think it's supposed to like add I don't know, like a shine or something, like a dewy shine, but I put all stuff over top of it, so I don't actually know what it does. I know that my skin feels better when I do use this stuff, as opposed to when I don't. When I don't use it, I start getting like spots all over my face and notice like some more imperfections. So maybe it's helping moisturize it, maybe it's just making my skin smooth, maybe it's not doing anything at all and it's just a placebo. But that is what I have experienced, is just a bit softer, smoother skin with all of these products. This is the Unicorn Glow primer. I do it mostly in the eye area because that's more where I put concealer, and then I try to spread the rest out, but I want to focus the majority of it in this area where I'm using concealer. I'm running out, so I'm trying to be conservative with it because it's just a sample. So I need to buy the actual product. All right, in my travel bag. Now, next is Tarte Porcelain Beige. Which one is this? Shape Tape. This is Shape Tape. I always get them confused because I know there's like face tape and then there's shape tape, and then I saw another ad where there was like, I think it was shape tape, but it had a different container, had like a little spongy thing on it. Maybe that was something else. Maybe it was the same thing in a new package. I do know. But yeah. From my experience, very little goes a long way with this stuff. The first time I tried to use it, I used way too much and it was like really cakey. I'm just outlining my brows because that's how I do it. I don't know. Don't ask questions. I'm just kidding. You can ask all the questions you want. I just won't answer. Oh no, I forgot. So the little tray that I usually use for my sponge, it shattered the other day because I dropped something on it. I don't remember what, but it was tragic. Sad and tragic. So now I just have to take my sponge and like go around and squirt water into this and hope I don't overfill it like I'm doing. Great. Okay. Now we just dabby. Eye corners are always the most difficult for me because, at least for my eye, they like to wrinkle, I guess, or gets this like weird creasy stuff going on. In the corners, so there's that. And I may have put on too much again. Hopefully I can spread this out. I don't like having it all over my nose because then you wipe your nose because you blow your nose and it just gets everywhere. This is such a soft sponge, by the way. It's like really nice actually. Feels like feather. All right, now I'm gonna take the dry sponge and the setting powder before this starts to crease, and it creases rather quickly, so we'll try to hurry. And then I switch to a brush. So get out my brushes, handy dandy brushes. And I'm gonna use one of these new It brushes that I got. This is the Essential Powder brush. Just dip it in here. And wave it all around like it just don't care. I know I don't have anything down here, but I do have moisturizer, so I like to give myself a matte finish with my powder. There we go. Okay, next is blush, bronzer, and highlighter. Okay, I had to wash my hands because I had concealer all over it from the spongy sponge, and I don't like how that feels. So, where were we? Bronzer. So we'll use the Too Faced Natural Lust Bronzer. Isn't it so pretty? But of course, I think it's pretty because I love peacocks. Can't you tell by my camera? Look at all the powder on this. That didn't work. It's still on there. But anyways, peacock. Yeah, so we're gonna use this little brush. This is the complexion brush from the It collection, the mini travel collection. And we're just gonna put it in the shadows. We want to low light what's already there. Low light. Okay, now that that is done, blush is next. And I'm gonna use my Betty Boop and Ipsy blush palette thingy. And I'm gonna start with the center, get a little bit of the sides, mostly the center, and just kind of brush it like in circles on the apples of my cheeks. In the circles. In the ovals, whatever. Circular sweeping motion. I'll put a little bit more than I think that I need because my highlighter will go over top of that, and for some reason my blush seems to go away. Now I have heard somebody else say that blush tends to fade, but maybe that's just the type of blush. I don't know. Also, it's really hot in here. Bleh. All right, highlight in the C formation using my Makeup Geek highlighter, duochrome highlighter in the shade Lit. I like it because it's a soft highlight, but it has like this duochrome pretty pink to it. I am crying. Not really. My eyes are freaking out because they're like, they haven't had makeup on them in a couple weeks or so. So they're like, ah! Plus all the powders. My gosh, it's hot in here. Bleh. Okay. Really hot. I don't understand why it's so hot. Okay. So that's done. I do think I'm gonna use some liquid frost because why not? That is fun stuff. Jeffree Star. This is the Frostbite one. This one is so pretty. So it has this little, you twist it and the little pump comes up and you pump it and then you open it. I don't really use the pump though. I just sort of dab it. I think I'm gonna dab it on my fingers though, because when you dab it on your face, it tends to sort of like, I don't know, move the stuff around that you already had on there, I think. So I haven't figured out quite how to do this perfectly, but I just sort of like smear it around so it's a little bit dry on my fingers so I don't smear around anything that's underneath it. You know, like the blush and bronzer and all that stuff. And just sort of slap it on the face. And I don't think you guys can see this on the camera. If I sort of take this light away, can a little bit, it looks like I'm sweating, but that's the glitter. Glitter, so much glitter. Okay. Put the glitter all over my butt so that it blinds people when they stare at it. Serves you right. Stare at your own butt. Okay. Not that you can stare at your own butt. I mean, maybe you can, like in the mirror, but you know what I'm saying. Don't look at my butt. Okay. So, there's that. Now that I am sparkly as heck. Wow. So much sparkle. Now my eyebrows. I need to do my eyebrows. I forgot about those fuzzy beasts. Brush them up. Get my palette. All right, I'm using my Wet n Wild Au Naturel palette, going into shade number 9. Because they don't have names. And I'm just lightly filling in the natural shape of my brows. Sometimes I get a little bananas with the outlining of them. And then I think they look really funky. So we're gonna try to just stay in the middle of the hairs and not go on the outline. Maybe that will help. Kind of hard to do sometimes. Okay, it seems to be working. And now here. There we go. Good. Looks good to me. Now I just sort of brush them up and sweep across the top. And I brush them up so they just look nice. They don't really... I trim them, so there's not like really long hairs or anything, so that's good. We close that up, puts out the way. I also have these like uber pointy ones, and ooh, them are scary. I don't know what I'll use them for, but you know, they're there if I need them. All right, so now on to the eyes. Get all these brushes over here ready to go. That's gonna go in the bag. This can go in the bag. Coffee! Coffee time. Love me some coffee. All right. Now, this palette doesn't have the nude shade that I typically like to use, so let me see if there is another Colourpop palette. I might just use Truly Madly Deeply. I'm in love with Colourpop. I can't really tell you how much I love it. And there's a YouTuber, I think it's called Makeup Just for Fun, but I might be wrong. There's a couple of accounts, I don't know. But there's this young lady that occasionally I'll watch, and I am mad jealous of her because she has like behind her, like the whole Colourpop store and then some, and it's pretty awesome. And eventually I might be there, but you know, I am appreciative of what I have. I will say that. Let's not go down that rabbit hole of comparing or wishing that you had things that other people did or whatever. But pretty cool. Kudos on her. I think that's awesome for her, but she loves Colourpop too. and I can see why. I just adore them. I'm excited about my palette. It has more colors than this. I think it has like another 2 rows. But anywho, let's go ahead into Matter of Fact from the Truly Madly Deeply palette. We're gonna use this as the base shade. And I'm just using this Jeffree Star brush. Sorry, my alarm went off. This brush is, which one? JS9 brush. So we're just putting this all over the eye and under the eye. Just make sure this is facing correctly. Like so. Okay, looks good. We will close that up and set that aside. Now, what colors do I want to use today? Reckless kind of matches my shirt a little bit. It's like more of a brown, but it's pretty close. I might use that maybe as a liner. Hard to say. I think I'm gonna start with Stay Golden, and I'm gonna use this It shadow brush. I'm gonna go into that shade, that's Stay Golden. I'm gonna put it in the crease, I guess. Oh, that's really bright. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'll just put it on the outer corner. Because that is super dark. Glad I started at the end and not like right in the center of the crease. I might bring it into the crease a bit, but we'll just start here. And it's like way darker than it looks in the pan. In the pan, it looks sort of like a dusty rose. On my eye, it's like wha-bam! Okay, let's take this crease brush from it and just sort of like swoop it in there. I don't have anything on this brush, I'm just using what is already on my eye. I'm trying to blend it softly into the crease without having too much pigment so that it looks crazy. I want it to do this nice like transition from the outer edge here, just softly into the crease. And of course I have these crazy points on my eye that, I don't know if it's the brushes or if it's just the way that my eye takes color, or doesn't, as it were. But occasionally it gets these creases here and it's kind of annoying. So we'll see if we can use this Jeffree Star brush. This is the JS12. And this brush is a bit stiffer, so I feel like it will do a better job at putting the color on the skin without causing creasing. Whereas the other brush is a bit more flimsy. It's like longer bristles, so it tends to just wiggle the skin around as opposed to actually moving the color across the skin. And I'm also gonna blend this here where it meets the center of the lid, the lower lid. So I feel like that blended really nicely. I like that. I'm gonna go into Easy Go, which looks a lot like that shade, but it's a shimmer version, I guess. I'm gonna stick with this JS12 brush, And first I'm gonna grab a Q-tip, put it in the corner of my eye because I feel some watering coming on. But I'm gonna put it in the outer corner here, sort of over the shade that we put. Stay Golden was the shade, which is odd because there are some gold shades, but that was not a gold shade that I used. So I'm just going over that with the shimmery version. And I'm gonna take my fan brush and fan brush any fallout that might be coming with that. This shimmery version, if I didn't say, because I have a horrible memory and can't remember if I actually said it 5 seconds ago, but it is called Easy Go. And it's really pretty. So we're just sort of sweeping it or keeping it to this outer corner. I'm not bringing it as far in as I did Stay Golden. And I'm using this Frida hue switching pan in between the shades. I do want to use this shade Smitten, which is very similar to Easy Go, but it has a bit more of a pinkish duochrome to it. So I'm going to put it closer to the inner, to the center part of my eyelid. Easy Go stayed more on the outside because it was a darker shade, but this one I'm going to put more on the center. And I'm going to switch to this JS10, which is a denser, smaller brush. I think it might be a packing brush, but I'm not getting the color on the lower part where usually eyeliner goes. And I do want the shade on that part so I don't look like I have like just a blank space there. I'm gonna take the shadow brush where I had Stay Golden and just sort of add a little bit more pigment because it is sort of looking like when pigment fades. So I want to make sure it has a presence there. And I'm going to take JS6 and just sort of blend this a little bit. There we go. All right, so now I'm taking Smitten on the other eye. Franny's up on my counter just investigating. Hi, Bubbies. What doing? He's a good boy. Okay. Want to say hi? You want to say hi? Okay. He's such a good boy. When he wants to be. Let's just throw that out there. When he wants to be. Okay, so same brush I had, just making sure this is blended nicely. It does look like there's an odd spot here, so I just cleaned this brush off. I believe this is a 10, no, it's 13, JS13. Just making sure that there's no weird splotchiness going on here. Okay. Now I'm gonna take the JS12 and I am gonna go into Reckless. Reckless again being that like brown shade that sort of matched my shirt. And I'm putting it on the very outer corner of all of this. Taking the other side that doesn't have pigment to blend it. So when I put pigment on my brushes. Sometimes I just do one side of the brush. I don't like roll the brush in it. And then I can take the other side and blend it. Okay. I think I'm gonna just clean off the shadow brush from it. Just, you know, sweep it in this color hue thing and use this to blend. It's a bit more of a dense brush, and I find the denser, shorter brushes work well for like some hard blending, whereas the softer brushes do well for like just a gentle sweeping of color. Fan brush, because I'm sensing some fallout going on here. I'm gonna take the JS6 and do the light sweeping up top, like I was just talking about. This is a softer brush. It's not as densely packed, so it kind of allows for a softer blend, whereas the other one to move the color around. And I like to do this on my edges of where I have shadow so that it just sort of blends in this like seamless transition. So, Francis, he's trying to knock over the TV, it looks like. That's not good. All right, so that looks good. Now I think I'm gonna take that dense brush again. That is the JS10. And I'm gonna go into this shade called Issues. Now it's kind of like a yellow beigey color. I'm gonna put it on the lower inner corner here. Okay. This looks a little splotchy here, so I'm just blending this in a little better. I do want to take this liner brow brush from it and go into Easy Go, which is the shimmery maroonish shade, and bring it down into the lower lash line. Like that. And then I'm also gonna take Reckless, which is the brownish color, and I'm gonna go over that. And then I'm gonna take this smudger brush from it and just blend, smudge that lower line. There we go. Fan brush. Okay, now there's a couple shades that I wanted to try There's one called Sidetracked. Then there is 20 something and Rookie, and those are the shades here. This is Sidetracked, 20 something and Rookie. And I think that this light is distracting from their colors, but that's what they look like. 20 something is more of a golden shade, so I think I'm going to use that for the inner crease today. There's also No Better, which is like this color, and it's kind of pretty too, so maybe I'll do that. I've done a gold in the center before, but I haven't done like a pinky shade. So I think actually I will use No Better instead, even though I put like Issues, which is sort of a yellow beige color. I don't think it's gonna make much difference. And using the brush doesn't seem to be working very well, so I'm gonna try it with my finger. It seems to be working just fine. This is really pretty shade. There we go. And I'm gonna take that liner brush that I used for the lower lash line, and I'm gonna use this with No Better and go on down here in the lower lash line. Just bring that down. And I will use the smudger brush. And there we go. Now I think that's it for the shadow. I do want to take some highlight and put it in the corner of my eyes, but I really like this palette and I think it turned out really well. Oh, that needs to go with me. Now I'm going to take the Estate highlighter and the JS13 brush, roll this around in here because this is going in the corner of my eyes. And just make like little circles. There we go. So that's it for that. Now for liner. So I think with this one, I want to stick with this Colourpop liner in the shade Ducky, which is like the pinky color, as opposed to a black. And just gonna test this out over here real quick because there's a little bit of dark on there where I must have gone over some black. So here we go. And now for mascara and lashes. I'm gonna use this Tarte Big Ego sample mascara that I got. All right, so now for lashes, I'm gonna use my Kiss 01 lashes. These are the lashes I use mostly. I like them. I tried a couple different types, but these are the ones I like the best. And lately I've been using this Kiss clear lash glue. So, all right, so last but not least is the lips. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Color Juice in Cherry on Top. And my Betty Boop and Ipsy lip gloss. My lips are like mad dry. All right, now I'm gonna finish with my Rimmel London Stay Matte Fix and Go Setting Spray. And there we go. Now I do look like super sweaty because of this frostbite, or I think it's called frostbite. The Jeffree Star glowy stuff. This stuff, liquid frost, and it is in frostbite. So I actually think I have more on this side than this side, but maybe it's just the light. But I'm gonna leave it alone. So that's it for today's look of the day, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you always remember, no matter who you are or where you are absolutely loved, and you are enough. Bye, guys. Happy New Year.